Good morning. Thank you for joining us today for this 26th meeting of the Board of Lake County Commissioners. Would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority, and may we use our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen. Okay, thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Here.
Commissioner Young.
Again, please.
Commissioner Young.
Commissioner Young. There we go.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. And for those viewing, Commissioner Young is joining us today by telephone, which again is fully compliant with the COVID-19 regulations under which we are currently operating. Okay, we have before us the meeting minutes for the regular meetings of June 18, 2020 and June 25, 2020. Do we have a motion to approve same without the reading thereof?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Jennifer, could you point your microphone more at... There you go. Mic discipline. Yay. Okay, and let's see. Mr. Administrator, do we have any public comments?
Public comment, Commissioner, I can enter into the record.
Would you please? Thank you, sir.
This just came in a moment ago. This is from David Lima. Public comment. I would like to address my remarks today concerning the comments made by Commissioner Serino in last week's meeting. Although his comments acknowledge the flaws that have been part of this country's history and those that have been corrected, he ignored the social action measures that corrected those flaws. His labeling of activists working to form a more perfect union as intellectually deficient is offensive. It is important to point out that it is unlikely that those flaws would have been corrected without the actions of those who were left out from the very beginning when the Constitution provided protection only to white male property owners. Oppression breeds discontent, and discontent leads to action. The First Amendment guarantees the right of people to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Individuals like Ida B. Wells, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King Jr., spearheading the civil rights movement, and Susan B. Anthony, Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Alice Paul, and Carrie Chapman Catt, working diligently for women's rights and the right to vote all, work to have a more inclusive and just nation. Intellectually deficient, I think not. To characterize those of us who are active in bringing about socially, economically, racially, and politically just country as intellectually deficient is insulting. Commissioner Serino should issue an apology for those comments. End of public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd.
Mr. President, may I respond?
Yes, sir.
Just briefly here. I'd like to thank Mr. Lima for making my intellectual deficiency comment known, and I do stand by it, and don't believe that this is the time and place to have a lengthy debate on the subject, but I do believe that many of the people who have taken those positions are uneducated and therefore on the issues, and therefore intellectually deficient. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on to our agenda. Madam Clerk, would you please begin with the reading of the resolutions?
In the engineer's office, resolution awarding a bid contract to Compass Minerals America Incorporated for the Lake County Road Department Salt 2020 untreated bulk rock salt in the amount of $454,140 as required by the Lake County engineer.
Move to adopt.
Second.
And discussion. We do have our county engineer with us. Sir, did you wish to comment on this?
Well, the primary comment I have is the price for the untreated bulk rock salt this year was just a little over $50. They were $20 plus below the second bidder. There were three bidders. So that's the lowest price we've seen in several years. So we are grabbing it.
Fair enough, but I think I'm showing my age when I still say that's an outrageous price that they're charging for that material.
It's all relative.
Yeah, that's correct, Commissioner. It is all relative. It's whatever you can get when you can get it. It's better than the 80 plus we've been paying.
Wow. Very good. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Utilities Department, resolution awarding a bid contract to Polydyne for organic polyelectrolytes polymer for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to adopt.
Second.
And under discussion, Gary, we had a conversation on this. These sound alike, but if you wouldn't mind for the general public, there's another one going to be coming up. If you'd explain it, please.
Certainly, Commissioner.
Thank you,
This
sir.
is in the wastewater department at GLK in Menor facility. Results of our competitive bidding for the polymer, as it was mentioned. We have two separate contracts that are on the agenda. They are different contracts, individual contracts for two separate treatment processes at the wastewater treatment plant. They were competitively bid.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution awarding a bid contract to Tidewater Products Incorporated for organic polyelectrolytes polymer for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving plan specifications and estimates of cost in the amount of $11,366.30 for Hunting Lake Drive Sanitary Sewer Extension, job number 20-11 in Concord Township.
Move to
Move to
adopt.
adopt.
I'll second it.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid sewer and water sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with Burgess and Knightbull Incorporated for project management office services for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? Gary, did you want to comment on that?
Certainly, Commissioners. On this topic, this is what we consider our program manager, a consulting contract for this calendar year 2020, even though we're kind of halfway through. We have part-time assistance by Burgess and Knightbull as we facilitate our larger capital projects through the design process.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Further discussion? Nope. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Sewer Operating Fund and Project Fund 596 Twilight Lift Station Improvements 439S.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an engineering agreement with GPD Group for Town Line Road Waterline Replacement Project 433W for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion? Gary, do you want to comment on that one, or?
Yes, we can continue. That's fine. We're talking about capital projects. This is a design for a new water line at the intersection of Ridge Road and Town Line. So again, as we kick off our capital projects, we're assigning funds for the consultant that's going to design this particular project.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Further discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution revising the Lake County Board of Commissioners' regular meeting schedule.
Move to adopt.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of agreements between the Lake County Board of Commissioners and various entities and organizations for the fiscal year 2019 Community Development Block Grant Funds.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Stormwater Management Division and the City of Eastlake for the Galilina Area Storm Sewer Replacement Project Phase 2.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Engineer and the Ohio Council 8 American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFL-CIO, expiring March 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Gills?
Well, the employees in my garage have decided to become a bargaining unit, and in the last year and almost a half, we have been going back and forth trying to come up with an agreement. And finally, they have agreed to our to terms, and we've agreed with them to terms, so we are ready to move forward and sign an agreement. That will be a 3-year contract starting backwards from April 1st to April 1st on to March 31st on 2023. It's a 3-year contract.
And for those who may have some curiosity, some of the highlights, any highlights you want to share? Or?
Not too much to say about it, other than the fact that it's pretty much the same as we've been working, and there is no cost of this contract to the county whatsoever for the next 3 years.
Very good.
Good job.
That's definitely a highlight. Thank you, sir. Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And the Finance Department resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $4,444,076.15.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $147,325.86.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various non-general fund accounts.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring appropriations within various general fund accounts.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Serino.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution adopting the annual tax budget for the year ending December 31st, 2021.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Discussion. Mr. Matus, did you have anything you wanted to add? Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is a resolution authorizing an annual tax budget. As you know, 2 weeks ago, we had a public hearing concerning it. I do not believe we received any public comments. I have not. And it outlines all the funds that receive real estate taxes that were authorized either from the inside mill or outside mills, which is voted on by the voters of Lake County. Just the highlights, it's the General Fund, Child Welfare, Board of Developmental Disabilities, Adams Board, Narcotics, Crime Lab, and Senior Citizens Levy. 2 weeks ago, I provided it to you, and the document remains unchanged. And like I said, later on in the summer, we'll be getting the rates from the county auditor, and the gross mill will be the same as what it was in the last few prior years. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your diligence in putting that together, sir. Okay, any further discussion?
Nope.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Okay, this brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities.
Just a couple items to update. The first one is the grant that we in utilities received from the EPA/Volkswagen settlement. We're referring it to as a diesel mitigation, where we're buying fleet vehicles through that program. I just wanted to update the commissioners that you'll start to see our paperwork, as we now have a signed agreement with the EPA. The paperwork's in place, and from our end, we'll start to place those orders with your approval, and those funds will start to be distributed from our end. We have to place the purchases, we have to front the money, and then somewhere down the road, we'll get reimbursed as part of this agreement. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that that process is, we're moving to the next phase of that process. The other item is just, again, with the hot weather, the continued high temperatures, we're seeing a slight uptick in water usage, but from our end, again, we have sufficient capacity to continue to make drinking water, and the plants are seeing that slight change, but we have the capacity to continue.
Excellent. No, thank you for the update, and thank you for participating so fully in the diesel mitigation. Commissioner Young, I know that was something near and dear to you back when you were in the House. Did you want to add any comments to that, sir?
No, not at this point, Commissioner. I think that he pretty well covered it, and I'm happy we're getting it done.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on. Let's see. Our county administrator, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you, Commissioners. Just very briefly, an update. We had another grant and loan committee meeting this Monday and approved a handful of grants. We do have some loans in the queue that our underwriting firm is working through some process, so I think we'll see some more of the larger loans begin to filter through. And while we've delayed some of our capital projects in the county, I did want to bring you up to speed on some critical projects that we've had in the queue for a number of years. Some security enhancement at the courthouse with parking and the judges. That project is underway. I know of note to Commissioner Hammercheck, since he's been in office, generators at the courthouses are both all systems go, so both courthouses will have 100% backup power by the end of the year. That work is underway, and we're also working on some security enhancements in the lobby of the probate court. So we have some local firms doing the work and doing a cost share with our telecom and B&G, who are doing some self-performance as well. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for your report, and thank the crew for the fine job that they're doing. That's exceptional efforts. Exceptional efforts. Let's see. Finance, Mr. Matus.
As commissioners are aware, we sent out a letter requesting all departments to reduce their budget by 5%. A majority of the departments have already turned in what they expect to cut for the 5%. I have one more meeting today, and then we have one other department that we'll be discussing at a later time concerning that. All the departments have been very helpful in that, and they understand the financial situation that we're in. Also, any day I just checked right before I came down just to see what the April sales tax numbers. We saw the projections, but we haven't got the actual numbers yet, and I expect that any day. And as I do every month, I'll send you the sales tax once we receive that. So.
Thank you, sir.
President,
Yes,
if I
sir.
could, just since you happen to bring it up, Mike, I did check on with the treasurer's office this morning, just to anecdotally kind of see how things are looking for second half collections. Mm-hmm. And as of today, we're running about almost 10 million below prior year, same period. Now, we still have till the 15th of the month.
Yep.
And this is not specifically general fund related like sales tax
Yep.
is. But it is an indication that we're going to be looking to see, and I did ask the treasurer, and I think we should invite the auditor as well to come up here when they get the second half numbers nailed down. Mm-hmm. We should get a look at what the total looks like compared to prior year. I think it's going to be an indicator of how many distressed households there are that we're going to have to deal with for extended payment of taxes.
I do also know, I talked to representatives from the auditor's office, and they have already adjusted next year's collection. In previous years, we estimate a 96% collection rate, and they've moved that down to 94. That doesn't sound like a lot, but materially with how much we collect. So they have already went that path moving forward, that they are going to reduce next year's estimated collection.
I should mention, too, that it's an important other fact that the first half payments were substantially larger than the same period prior year to that, which meant that a lot of homeowners and property owners paid the full year tax bill in January pre-COVID.
Yep.
Which would be very fortunate for us. We'll see when we get the totals in for the year.
Yeah, actually, a lot of our first half collection is always higher than our second half collection, just from the sheer fact that people do prior year when they were getting the tax credit for their tax write-off on their property taxes. People tried to get that in before the.
This was substantially higher than same period last year.
Like I said, when we see our property taxes, we always receive a higher first half. Like you said, I know I talked to Auditor Galloway before about that and so forth. So, but we are taking COVID-19 into existence for next year's estimates and so forth.
Okay,
so,
good.
Thank you.
Oh, before you go, I've had this question asked to me more than once. How is it that your budget finance director seems to know so much? And I think it's fair to say, not only are you our budget and finance director, your previous life, you worked for the auditor of state, and you actually worked for the Lake County auditor. So your experience is, even though you're quite young, you're quite a
I wouldn't say I'm quite young anymore.
I would not stipulate to that.
Compared to most of us here.
My body sure does not feel very young, that's for sure. Nor look very young either, so
your depth of experience, and there's a reason why you give us such accurate numbers. You live and breathe this. So I think that the public has a right to know and a need to know why we rely so heavily on you. So you've got a lot of depth there. So
thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome. You've earned it. Thank you, sir. Okay, and just send money. Yeah. Well, if our reality check bounces with this young man, we're in trouble. So, all right, moving on to our clerk, Madam Clerk.
Yes, I wanted to mention that the resolution adopted today, revising the schedule, the revision to the schedule is the meeting that's going to be held on Thursday, July 23rd, was going to be at a different location. Well, we've moved back here. So the meeting on the 23rd is going to be right here in Chambers at the same time at 10 o'clock. And also I wanted to mention that there isn't going to be a commissioners meeting next week.
And that meeting you were talking about, we were hopefully going to be showing off the new youth building at the Lake County Fairgrounds. Given the current circumstances, it's probably best that we just keep everything here under this roof for the time being. But that doesn't mean that our friends at the Fair Board do not have some things to be very proud of. And the people of Lake County are being well served by our Fair Board. So with that, anything else, ma'am?
That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, moving on to legal.
No report, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. All right, do we have any old business to come before this board? I think I might have one that could be old business if I could refer to our county engineer. Madison Avenue, we had a subsidence issue going on there, I believe. Is there a bit of an update you could give us, sir?
Yeah, I can tell you that the pavement has dropped another 12 inches since the last time we talked, and maybe more. We have negotiated a contract with Baker. Baker is under design. They've started the design on the improvements to repair that wall. We have got clearance from ODOT to include it in the Madison Avenue road contract. The plans, the initial submittal for the plans for the wall repair should come about August 15th. So they're working hard on that. Hopefully it will be in a position to bid it in the fall. We have been getting clearance for the property, and I believe that we do have that now from ODOT. There was some question about an easement, but we're we're diligently working at the old records that go way back, in particular these isolated areas like this where nobody lives and dwells and whatever else. They're very interesting. So we've been wading through that. And that's pretty much where we are.
Thank you, sir. That's a bit of a deep dive and going back in history there, so well done. And Vrooman Road, we seem to be enjoying the bridge at least in one direction while significant improvements are taking place on Vrooman Road itself. Care to share anything on that, sir?
Well, yeah, the bridge is open to going south. We've had a lot of nice comments about, how nice it is, and I even had one that said that they thought the bridge would they'd never get to the other side. It is rather long. It is the fifth largest or longest county road bridge in the state now. The contractor has started working on Bruin Road itself. They started their undercutting of the north side yesterday, and we found that the subsoil was quite substantial, more substantial than we thought it was, and we have been able to cut out about $200,000 worth of subwork. So, and it may well speed up the project for a couple of weeks. So it's entirely possible this whole project could be done around Memorial Day or Labor Day.
Excellent. Good news.
Great. Mr. President,
Sure.
my wife and I stopped by. We happened to be in the neighborhood, and we drove up to the beginning part of the bridge on the south side. And it is quite impressive. Quite impressive. So,
If you go over there on Sunny,
Your microphone, sir.
it went off. I thought I had it on. If you go out there on Sunday, there's not a lot of, and there's not too much traffic, and of course there's not workers around, because that's a little bit of a problem. If you pull off on the north side where the barrels are and park out in the middle and get out and look down both ends of the river, it's quite impressive there too. It's a nice view. The unfortunate part about the bridge is that if you're in a car, and because of the high parapets and the railing, you cannot see down over that unless you get out and actually physically look. But it is worth stopping and looking, trust me.
And the pedestrian bridge, did you want to comment on that since we've kind of got you here? We're going to take full advantage of your presence.
Well, the pedestrian bridge is up and open. I know that we've had some visitors and so forth, but it's part of the impressive view looking west. I think that the public in the future will find that plus the new Mason's Landing park very, very nice and very enjoyable.
That's being relocated, and it looks like it's well underway. Have they finished with that park? I was down there a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, they're pretty well along. I think that they had installed all the playground equipment and so forth, which the old one did not have. And they were just doing the picnic tables yet and some of the grills. But pretty much it's almost ready to go.
excellent. Thank you for the update, sir. Yep. Any other old business? Moving on to new business. Do we have any new business to come before this board?
yes, Mr. President, just
Sure.
wanted to comment. We did get the unemployment rates for the month of May. And Lake County, unfortunately, is running above the state and the U.S. level at 15.1%. So we're 2.3 points above Ohio and 2.1 above the U.S. in total. Hopefully, the month of June will reflect some return to the other direction. But it again, it's an indicator of the significant impact that this shutdown / slowdown did have, and the impact of the disease itself on our businesses in Lake County. And in spite of so many of our businesses receiving aid to keep themselves open and to keep people employed. So this is a big impact, and I think the earlier discussion we had regarding the ripple effect on sales tax and on property tax collections, this is what we're going to see. These are all related to each other, so we're going to be watching June numbers very carefully when they come in. And again, hopefully we will see a lowering of that 15.1% unemployment number in our wonderful county. Thank you, Mr. President.
Very good. And if I could just echo that, it is a true indicator of the impact. I believe before pre-COVID, Lake County was the second lowest unemployment in the state of Ohio. So it truly is an indicator of impact in Lake County and how seriously our businesses are taking this COVID-19 issue. Public, a lot of questions. We're on the front page of the News Herald today. Our Health Commissioner Ron Graham commenting about it, but I think this should not go unnoticed, that this is truly impacting Lake County very, very seriously. And Commissioner Young, did you have anything to add, sir?
Well, I'd just like to say that I think it's an indication of just how serious Lake Countyans view the life of our fellow citizens. And even though the economy is a critical part of that life, at the same time, obviously the life must be protected. And so I think the Lake County businesses and services are doing everything possible to protect people. And I think the numbers, as far as infections and deaths, reflect that. Lake County's done quite well in those categories.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on. Administrator Boyd, do we have any additional public comments for our second public comment portion? Thank you. Okay, we do have a request for an executive session. The purpose will be personnel and compensation. There will be no formal business conducted afterwards. Do we have a motion to adjourn into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Sereno.
Yes.
Commissioner Young. Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today.